There once was a man named Gold Roger who was king of the pirates. He had fame, power, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Before they hung him from the gallows, these were the final words he said.
Our perspective is yours for the taking, but you'll have to join us first. We left everything we debated at the Yonkō Table.
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for the Yonkō Table, the table that will make their dreams come true. Yo, folks, the Yonkō Table has set sail yet again, this time venturing into the MCU with the hit new TV series Ms. Marvel, specifically episode 3. We are at the mid-season finale. Marvel has been kind of hit or miss when it comes to their mid-seasons finale, and we're gonna deep dive this one, episode 3, and get a taste for what we can expect in the second half of Ms. Marvel. I know some people are fans of what Ms. Marvel is doing with their Disney teen bop type of genre, and some are not 3 episodes in, but we'll get into it. With me, as always, is fellow Yonkō, GrandMasterHoop. Grandmaster, episode 3, mid-season finale. How you feeling?
Miss Marvel is enjoyable. I do like a lot of things they're doing. I do feel, however, since episode 1, they've been kind of being relatively tame in their bigger ideas that they showcased in episode 1, and they're kind of losing some of that aesthetic for me that separates it. Now, I will say this, as a mid-season finale is concerned, we're finally, getting a little more action, peeling back the plot a little bit, which is good. I can't see the end result, which is fine, but it's like, I don't know. I'm enjoying it, but there's still something I want more from it. Because now that I feel like we have the fundamentals and the foundation, I'm just like, y'all need to just be hitting it out the park. So certain episodes excel in certain areas, some don't, and I'm waiting for that perfect blend. So that's where I stand. Stan
Edgar? That's the wrong show.
No, it's stop. Don't even get into it, because you're the only one who gets that name wrong for some reason.
What's his name?
Stan.
Oh, okay. We clarified it. Good. We also have Supernovas here to talk with us today on episode 3 of Ms. Marvel. And let's get into it. So I can kind of see where this series is somewhat losing its steam that I saw, at least in the beginning portion of the episode. I'm sorry, in the beginning of the season. And it's kind of, it's one of those things that we all gave the series praise for, that being the little animations that would happen in the episode, the stylized animations. They gave it some flair. They made it more like, I think one of us described it in episode 1 as like a Lizzie McGuire scenario. Like, this is Kamala's imagination as she's going around doing her slice of life stuff at school, at home, attending festivals, stuff like that. But I feel like episode 3 probably has the least amount of that in its episode. I think the only time, I think there was twice that I saw it, and one I don't really even count. There was one where she was sending text messages to Kamran. Yeah, there was one where she was sending text messages, but those just looked like basic, like
they were basic.
They were very basic. And I think they were a step down from where we got, it was either last week or the week before, where it was text messages, but they were somewhat stylized. Like, I think they were spread across the bed sheet or something, like as she was texting.
Week 1 has done the most. Episode 1 has done the most with the visual aesthetic, and slowly it has become more tamed and calm. And now we're here. It happened twice, I believe. Here it happened with the text message that you're talking about, which was mad basic because it was like the green and the gray, so they're Android users. And then it happened one other time to introduce the wedding. I think it said Amir's wedding. I think,
Okay.
or it said wedding
yes,
day.
Yes, that was the one. That was the
Yeah.
only other instance that I recall.
Yep, that was
being
it.
stylized. And I don't know, it kind of sucks because now, not to say there weren't other aspects that I enjoyed from episode 1 besides that animation style, but seeing as how they're diminishing that as the episodes go on, and we don't know if they're going to pick it up again in episode 4, 5, and 6, but it's been getting less and less. We're on episode 3, and now you're just kind of relying on the slice of life story with Kamala and her family, and the actual like superpower gimmick. You know, what's the origin of the bangle, who's trying to obtain it, and stuff like that. I don't know where you guys stand with episode 3 in general. Like, if you thought it was I don't want to say worse because it implies that it's bad, but did you guys enjoy it less than the last 2 weeks, or is this one of the higher ones? I don't know. What do you guys think?
I guess I can go. It's episode 3. It was in 3rd place, very last. You guys mentioned some of the stuff already. Just the thing that pulled me in episode 1, like the artistic things in the background, like when she sends the messages, her imagination, that was what would pull me in the first episode. And my excuse was, okay, there's no action, but at least the show looks good. This episode, I didn't care for it, honestly. Wait, give me 1 second. Sorry. I didn't care for it. I don't care for Amir and his wedding. Like, I feel like that was a central plot of the story that just came out of nowhere. We were not introduced to Amir enough, or the wife now, for me to care about this part of the story. Same thing with her friend winning the board member of the mosque. That made it seem like it was going to be a central point last episode. This episode, she just dropped a one-liner. Oh yeah, I won. That was it.
Actually, did she act? I thought they still hadn't counted the votes yet for the board.
No, but remember when Kamala was at her desk and she wasn't paying attention? She was like, "Oh yeah, I won," and even Kamala didn't realize it.
Okay.
And I'm like,
right.
Come on, like, what was the point of introducing this last episode? So far, every episode feels like its own episode, like the old cartoons that we used to watch, where none of the plots are connected except for like a small portion, but none of them are connected. Every episode feels like its own separate story, and I don't like that. I really don't like that. So it's an F in my book because of that.
I think you could. Yeah, I see your point. You can make that argument. The only thing that's been kind of the over-connecting bit is the bangle, and because for example, we met Amir and his fiance last episode. I don't think they mentioned they were getting married. Not one.
I thought they did.
They did. No, they did say
they said they were engaged.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they said they were engaged, but we didn't know like when the wedding was gonna be or anything. It made it seem that it was a brand new fiance, but this episode they immediately got married. I'm like, whiplash. What the hell happened? Last episode you guys were introduced, you're engaged. This episode you're married. Next episode you're gonna have a kid. What's going on?
Right.
Wait, are they actually, or
no? That's me joking, saying that. Come on. Yes.
But that can be, for me, I don't want to call it problematic because I still like what we're given here as far as like they celebrated Eid in the last episode and they had the wedding this episode. But it seems they're now using these, the cultural bits kind of as the big background of each episode. And it's like, you don't need to use these as the setting for these, for these run-ins with villains or danger and whatnot. But that seems to be what they're leaning into, because last week, the kid was falling during the Eid celebration. Yeah. And now the wedding was shut down because of, the clandestines and their meddling. And I would hope they're not just using the cultural component as kind of in the background. And, it doesn't necessarily have to be the focal point of the episode. However, I don't know. It just feels at this point, I don't know.
Let me just say it. I'm getting tired of it. Like, I get it, man. I've seen enough of Pakistani culture in the last 2 episodes. It's amazing. Let's move on with the story, y'all. Let's give us some plot. I heard more about the partition of India and Pakistan than I have about the Bengal, the main source of her power. We know more about the partition than that. Like, it's ridiculous. But They were a little bit nice, couple Easter egg. Like we did see the 10 rings in the episode, which was cool.
Wait, the 10 rings.
Wait, the 10 rings.
Oh, you guys missed that. Go back to the episode when their grandmother first find the bango and the blue arm statue or human. You guys remember that scene?
Yeah,
In the cave?
the very beginning.
There was an overhead shot of them in the cave, and you could hear the British soldiers saying, "Stand down because of the crown," or some BS like this. When you look down, you can see the 10 rings where they're standing. There's literally the 10 ring logo.
But it's
is
like around the body, or it's around all.
No, it's on the floor. It's on the floor where they're standing. With the
Really?
overhead shot, yes, go back and look it up, my man. That was a nice little Easter egg. I recognized it. I was like, oh shit, that's from Shang-Chi. That shows it's connected. That was good part of the episode, but again, it was just a portion of it. And I mean,
I completely
for me,
missed it.
yeah, for me, I like that the arm that they found was blue because the fact that it was found in India, I wonder if they're gonna go into the lore that maybe some of the Hindu gods were Djinns.
Oh,
like
that's
Vishnu.
right. Yeah,
Vishnu and the
I
other-
wondered why his arm was blue. I'm like,
There we go.
Wait, oh my gosh. See, this is why Darcy needs to be here. You don't know why that arm is blue?
he's a Smurf.
He's a
Yeah.
Kree. That's a Kree.
Okay. You see, it could be a Kree, but it could also be like another species.
No, it's a Kree.
No,
because-
but think about it. Like Star-Lord, his adopted father, the guy with the thing that he
Yondu.
Yondu, he was also blue.
All right, let me explain why I know it's a Kree. All
Okay.
right, this is how you know it's a Kree, because one, so originally Miss Marvel in comic book wise is an Inhuman, right? Inhumans are a subspecies of humans that are descended from these humans that were kidnapped by the Kree to put that like meta gene in their DNA to activate superhuman abilities if exposed to the Terrigen Mist. And that was the whole Kamala's and like any Inhumans whole shtick, right? Now in this series, they're taking it a little different route, saying, you know, she's always had it inside her, which is basically the same thing as the Inhuman. However, now they're saying they are the Djinn, or from the clandestines from another dimension. But I'm pretty sure that blue arm, because again, I said this last week too, it would be best to tie it into some known Marvel lore that is a Kree who somehow got to Earth and is leaving alien tech there. Now, with that said, that Kree probably, and it's similar to the Eternals too, these influencers are coming down and they are influencing mythology, religion, and, you know, they are serving as godlike entities to these people. And that's what I think is going on. And I'm pretty sure I want Darce to come on and agree. I'm pretty sure
Darce
that's
is
true.
not here, so stand on your morals and your theories.
How would they explain why? I mean, it could be a Kree, but would you then say that maybe the Krees were like the Hindu gods, I guess, in their universe? They're the one that rule?
You could do that. You could very much do that. I think the whole thing is that they're trying to do, though, is they're trying to make Kamala Inhuman or tie it back to the comic book origins without going the whole way.
But are the Kree from an alternate universe the same way the Djinn are? Because I thought that was the main thing with the Djinn.
So the Kree is just for the bangle.
Okay. So we have to assume that the Kree somehow took the bangle from somebody that was from an alternate universe, and they just
this whole clandestine thing is new to me.
Okay.
What did y'all like this reveal? This
I mean, I'm okay with it. I've said it before on other pods. I'm not a fan of exposition dumps. And the first 5 minutes was a big exposition dump. The whole thing with the clandestines, them being Djinn, the different names that they go by, and you know, each individual name. I had a hard time discerning who from the flashback, which was the character that was Kamran's mom.
Yeah,
And
that's fair.
I pieced it together.
I don't know her name, but yes.
Right. I pieced it together towards the end because I'm like, oh, okay. It's freaking obvious which one it is now. But I just don't like exposition like that. Especially when it's just like boom, boom, boom. Because again, going back to Toasty's point, it's like they almost forgot in the last 2 episodes. They have not been addressing
the plot.
Like the mythical part of Kamala Khan and her powers. So they're like, oh, okay, episode 3, we just gotta lay it all out. Just tell them because these guys are gonna be the big bad, I assume, for the series.
They seem pretty, which is, I did not like their flip. They flipped so.
You see, it was so obvious though in the beginning. I don't know if you guys caught it, just the way they were talking to her. Like,
but that's the issue.
And how like how vague they were being about. I'm sorry, you just said that you were exiled from your dimension.
Yeah, exiled's not a good
Excuse
word.
me? Can you explain further?
But no, that's the issue. When we have a story where the main things that advance the plot is second to whatever else is going on, there's no time for them to explain. I would have rather have an entire episode dedicated to their backstory and seeing Kamala's grandmother than what we have this episode. And you mentioned it again, the lore dump just came out of nowhere. It was like boom, boom, boom. Introduce, here we are, villain. It literally took less than 50 minutes for these characters to be introduced, to be turned into the main villains. Meanwhile, we're wasting our time with other side portion of the story, which to me, it's aggravating. Like,
I definitely think they could have introduced these characters maybe in episode 2, episode 1 even.
Add some more story to them, because I feel like my issue with the developers, or not developer, but the director, I feel like they just want to say, hey, look at us. We're showing other cultures on TV. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? They have that in mind before they had the idea to say, let's write a good story, but just have the culture to help support the story. That would have been good. They could have had an entire wedding and just have the wedding be about the mom maybe of Kamala, or the grandmother explaining what happened, how the mom was born, something else to support the main story.
I can see how, because you're right. Like, for example, the mom in this episode said, why would my mother have come for my son's wedding if she never came to mine?
Yeah, and have something else.
They could have done something where take the same thing that they did this episode with a wedding, but showcase it from the mom's perspective for her
or
wedding.
the grandma's point of view, so we know what the grandma was doing, which give us more lore.
Exactly. Well, so it explains why she was never there.
Exactly.
Yeah, the grandma's not been introduced yet. So next episode, we're probably going to get another flashback, probably an extended look. Well, that would be preferable to the exposition dump. I'll take a flashback intertwined through the episode to peel back what's really going on, because, and that's my thing too, is yes, I don't want the cultural component. I love the cultural component. I love the wedding. I love the Eid celebration, but I don't want them to be the
central point or the central focus of the story. Yeah.
No, I don't want them to be like settings, as in, here we are, let me toss it away now to introduce a big fight. Let me stop celebrating so she can go save the kid. I would hate for the next episode, because she's going to go to Pakistan to visit the grandmother. Yeah. I would hate for it just to be like, oh, we're in Pakistan, let's run away from the clandestines now.
Oh, no, she will.
And that's what I imagine is going to happen. But
so wait, what do you want to happen though? Like,
I want it to be integrated, not just because here it just seems we're setting up the setting just to trash it, or just to say it's a checkbox.
Yeah, we got a wedding, guys. There we go. Let's just have a wedding, and then we're not gonna go over the wedding. It's not an important part of the story, but just have the wedding, just so the villain happened to show up at the wedding, crash it, which is gonna force Kamala to fight them. Literally, that is, for me, horrible storytelling. It is atrocious. And it sucks because this show it has the potential to be really good, but I really hate this. Have the thing like the wedding support the story, not have it the other way. I'm sorry, but I'm not watching Kamala and the Pakistanis, a TV show. No, I'm watching Miss Marvel. I want to see action. You could have had her fight.
We got some action. Did you like that?
We got some action, but again, it was mid. They could have had another scene where instead she was fighting and she had to decide between fighting and choosing her brother's wedding, which would have mirrored what the grandmother did. That would have probably pissed off the mom even more. They could have done something like that.
So a scenario where, you know, she has her powers, she's trying to balance life and being a superhero.
There we go.
And then, okay.
Put me in the room.
Bringing that up, I did find many similarities to what's going on with Kamala versus Peter Parker, kind of juggling that two roles, trying to, you know, do right by your family, but also you trying to be a superhero. But the thing I really liked that this episode did, and see, this is where I really like when you add a cultural component, right? The mom at the wedding was talking about nightlight, or she was talking at the pre-wedding thing, and they were talking about nightlight, and she said, you know, oh, her mother should be ashamed letting her go out and run around like that, you know? And in my head, I was like, wow, you know, Peter Parker does the same thing, but from a cultural aspect, no one's gonna say, oh, Spider-Man's mother should be ashamed he's out there running around, you know? They just either call him a superhero or a menace. It's one of the two. But from, you know, Kamala's side of things, their people are looking at it as bringing shame to their family. You know, it's disrespectful how she's out and about and, you know, the skin tight clothing and whatnot. That's an interesting. I like seeing that perspective, and that is not using the cultural component as like a setting, like I'm saying. You know, that's just, you know, tying it into the ideals and the morals of this ethnic group. And I'd rather see that kind of portrayal versus let's have a wedding and a cool dance number, which I love the dance number. See, I love this
The
stuff.
dance number was nice. I liked it.
I like the dance number. However, then it's like, pull the fire alarm. It's a big fight scene.
But you see, this is a scene, in my opinion, if I was a director, I would have had her fighting while the camera keeps switching, like point of view from her fighting to people having fun in the wedding and her family looking for her. That would have been cool.
Or if she was trying to prevent them from destroying the wedding.
The wedding,
so
exactly.
The wedding is still like going on. She wants her brother to have a happy wedding, and she's stopping these guys from
exactly. She's sacrificing her trust in her family for the greater good, which is what I mean. It's a cliche, but that's what a hero is supposed to be. Instead, like we had this, which I mean, whatever.
I mean, at the very least, I liked the fight scene in the kitchen.
I did too. I enjoyed it.
It was nothing crazy, you know. I wasn't going there expecting like Shang-Chi level of choreography. You know, she is a preteen in high school, and she is not hyped up on adrenaline spider, you know, venom or whatever, right? Yeah. She's no Peter Parker.
She's Green Lantern minus the flight.
Minus the flight and the experience. She does not know how to fight.
Yeah.
No.
And I still liked it. I like the transition scene where I think Kamala, she goes in there into the kitchen. She's like, everyone get out. And no one listens to her. They're like, who the hell are you?
All right. Then that scene was ridiculous. She knocks out the dude and they're like, that's it for me. I'm out.
I'm not doing this
for me. They didn't even go to that guy.
Exactly.
Nope.
They work with him too.
No, you're not paid to take care of somebody else. You were paid to cook.
That's his fault.
That was hilarious. I'm like, oh my gosh, help him.
Gotta help yourself first before you help everybody else.
And then these clandestines are, I don't know what their gimmick is, but the homeboy takes off his belt.
You know he was Hispanic.
Was he? I don't know.
He brought out the belt to whoop some ass, man.
Oh, well, I didn't think
of all the things, a belt. Everyone else got like a hammer, a
spear. Where'd you get a spear from?
But no, my brother took out the belt. And you know what? I half expected someone to take off their chancleta. I expected them to take
oh my god,
their sandal and go bop.
Stop that. I did like the fight too. You know, if you're gonna change up her powers, you gotta make it enjoyable for us. So I like how she was using it to, like, she was on the ground and she made one and she pushed off of it and slid under the workstation.
Right.
You know, she's got to get creative with it. And I like how they're, you know, getting creative with it. And I like how defensive she got. But then, you know, I think, you know, the kind of the big, you know, jaw-dropping moment, she did the punch, which again, they're trying to elicit the stretching with how she punches. You know, she stretches and enlarges the hand, and then she did a gum whip at 1.2 and knocked all three of them back. Did you catch that one too?
I did catch that one.
So I like she's getting better. I like how creative they're getting. I guess the clandestines are cool to watch because they're all doing different, like you said, weaponry. So it's fun. Your boy Bruno,
the belt guy was
some
the
of
coolest
action.
one.
The belt guy was the coolest one. He was. But the other guy, they're strong.
Did
you see him punch the ground?
Yeah. He left a crack in the ground. If that connected with Kamala, she's dead.
Oh, and then Kamran got, you know, suplex off the balcony.
Well, for him, I know he can take it because
he can take it, but I'm like, oh my gosh, because we don't know what they can do, and now we're just giving it all right here, like, what, you know, like, and it's like, okay, sure, we just met y'all.
I'm here for it.
We thought you were exiled, sure.
And that's the thing too, because like I don't know if they were enhancing the weapons that they took. So like the guy with the belt, did it look bigger to you when he started swinging it around?
Yes, it was kind of like, because it was flexible. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So is it that the Djinns can like manipulate certain
that could be his power. That could just be his weapon, and he just took it out. That could be their unique weapon. His just happened to be a belt.
Right.
Or it could have been like a web before, but he used like some kind of like Djinn voodoo magic to make it look like a belt.
So that he could blend in public.
Yeah.
Just whip it out. I could have sworn the person with the hammer, I thought I probably need to watch the episode, that portion again. I could have sworn they grabbed something and it morphed into the hammer that they started swinging at Kamala.
No idea.
Oh, maybe that'd be a cool little power.
Yeah.
Because if he had a regular belt and turned it into, you know, this whip of destruction, that'd be kind of cool.
Right. So the fight I thought was pretty decent. What did you guys think about the damage control department and they raised some heavy topics in here like Islamophobia.
They did.
That make no sense, dude. Like, it makes no sense.
Which
all of it, dude. I don't understand how this department is run by clowns.
They are clowns.
You're telling me that somehow in 2022 you have an entire department that deals with superhero, but they're or extraterrestrial activities, but they're too busy being, I guess, Islamophobic. Like, for God's sake, man. Like, you would think they know, but like just doing random stuff and being clowns.
The fact that they thought they could walk into the mosque and be like, hey,
or they walk with their shoes on. Yeah, they walk with their shoes on. They said, give me all your stuff. They accuse her of being like, they were like, is she a brown girl, a Muslim girl? We gotta find her. I'm like, for God's sake, people. Like, you have bigger issues to do. Like, I don't understand how they have the energy to be like this. You have people, like, you have alien level threat like Thanos that can take out half of your planet, and you're too worried about being like, that's your main goal. And for me, my issue is the entire department. Nobody so far in that department have shown any kind of common sense.
Mm-hmm.
They all seems to be general douchebags, which makes no sense to me. This is something I expected to see in a TV show 20 years ago, not today. It just does not make sense.
Like in what way? Can you be
like, I would say just them being douchebag for the sake of being douchebags.
Oh, okay.
They walk in. I mean, for God's sake, you're trying to get information in a superhero. That's your main job. The first thing you want to do is not appear like a douchebag to the people you're trying to get information from. If you're trying to get information for somebody, you're not just going to walk in and slap somebody and say, give me the information. They're just going to say no and walk away.
Search the perimeter.
Exactly. Instead, you could have come in, explained the situation, say, hey, this is what's going on. We need some help. Help us out. It's not that difficult, my man. It's not. And for me, I feel like they're evil, or they're supposed to be the villain just for the sake of being the villain. That is it. They have no purpose other than being a bad. That is it. Like, they chase Kamala like a dog instead of just approaching her and saying, hey, we know it's you. Talk to us. How did you get this power? Like, instead, they may seem like they're supposed to be Hell Hydra. Is this group supposed to be part of Hydra? Is that what we're gonna be assuming right now?
I don't think. No. I don't think they haven't done really anything yet besides just being foolish. Like when they walk into the mosque, and
it's not only that; it's everything. They're just incompetent fools.
Okay, but there hasn't been anything where like they've like physically tried attacking Kamala or
the drone.
The drone never attacked her. It just literally flew in front of her, and she assumed the worst, which she should have, because she doesn't know what's going on.
And they chased her. They tried to block her away.
They tried to block her away.
I mean,
but again, they're just being full. If this was Hydra, they would be shooting her down like point blank.
But that's my issue. Like, I don't understand this organization. Like, your job is to do this, but they're so stupid at their job. Somehow Kamala, remember, was able to get away from them just by getting into Cameron's car, and somehow they missed the car driving off.
It's
somehow
really weird that
they had no
chase her down in that vehicle.
They had no perimeter set up to catch the car. They didn't hack into the freaking light camera to find the driver license, which could have led them to Cameron. All of those little things are things they're missing, which makes no sense. I feel like they just exist for the sake of being idiots. They're the idiots. They're the Team Rocket of this show. That's what they are.
I'm gonna say this as far as why it's not working for me. It's because in this universe we have seen more competent agencies, and they set the bar for how these agencies shield.
Competent.
In WandaVision we saw Sword.
Yeah.
Okay.
So even Sword did a better job.
Well, Sword was a little bit clownish.
That's because that dude in charge was a clown.
But he's the one in charge. Who put him there?
Everybody else
put him in that position.
Jimmy Woo was doing better.
Wait, is Jimmy Woo part of Sword though?
Yes, they brought him in. Yeah.
No, I thought. Okay. I remember the Sword department, and I remember there were some characters that were not officially a part of Sword in WandaVision. They were just there helping.
No, I'm pretty sure Jimmy Woo works for Sword.
Even if he was not, he still worked with them. So there was still some kind of interconnection between him and whatever organization that he works for and Swords.
Right. And then I also blame the writers here too, because they're trying to pull a shroud over your eyes as to if this is going to be, a criminal, like antagonistic organization. And from what we know, they're not antagonistic. They are damage control. They come clean up, enhance people, crime scenes. And I don't know where they can bring people in. I don't know where that came from. And I guess maybe the 5-year gap that is the blip. But the problem is they just need to establish if this is and because the main lady seems quite antagonistic. And I don't know. It's just kind of throwing a wrench in the plot to where it's like, we know they're going to come to head Kamala and this lady and the rest of the CDC. But yeah, it's not really doing much. What took me out was the warrant thing, that I felt that warrant bit was really stupid. Like, get a warrant. Why do you think maybe it was forced to show that message, the Islamophobia?
Right.
Yes.
I feel like the Islamophobia, it was very prevalent just from the fact they went straight to a mosque, and then,
to be fair, that was the last place where they saw her.
Because remember in the last episode, they said the places they were going to look were temples. She said search every temple, mosque, and
community centers, I think.
Right. Because that was just the general information they had of where this girl could be from. So we don't know if the mosque is the first place they went to or the last place they went to. We just know that they went there. And
I would say it doesn't matter where they went first, because this is the one they showed. You know? So now we're left to assume this is the first place they went. And it's fine. Like, does it feel shoehorned? I don't think it feels shoehorned. I feel the dialogue itself is shoehorned. If Nakia didn't come and say, "Oh, you're trying to turn Muslims against Muslims," I felt that sounded a little forced. But hey, maybe you need to knock it over, like bonk people on the head with it. Like, this is what we're doing. This is what you're gonna get out of it.
But that's an issue. Like you mentioned it before, they have a check mark list. And they're just going to hit the check mark. They said, okay, we have to talk about Islamophobia. We have to show wedding. How are we going to put this in the story? It doesn't matter, guys. Just put it in the story. That doesn't fit in whatsoever. All it would have taken to show, like, I mean, I can't think of a way to show Islamophobia off the top of my head, especially with the setting of the show. But in my opinion, it could have been done better. You mentioned it yourself. It's an organization that knows the basic law. You need a warrant to go into somebody's house. It's the goddamn Constitution. That is really history or civics 101. That is a basic middle school stuff. Yet they fumble. It makes no sense. And I feel like, again, I hate to say it, but the writers just want to hit a check mark. They want to put some points. They want to say, hey, look at us doing all of those things. Latinx, Islamophobia, this, that. And they don't care how it gets on with the story. It is horribly made. And they should be punished for that, because there's a difference.
Jesus, man.
No, dude, no. No, because like I'm gonna say
horribly made, atrocious. The writers should be punished.
No, dude, because it's something I feel like they do a lot with shows from my point of view as a black guy, where they try to have black people in certain setting and shows and movies now where you feel like it's forced in. They just want to have that person just to say, hey, look at us, guys. We have a black guy. Aren't we cool? We have a black friend. I mean, we're not racist anymore. That's not how it works, man. Like, that's really not, that's not how it works. If you want to portray black history, if you want to portray Pakistani history, you can do that. But don't force it in just because you want to force it in, just so you can win some points and likes on Twitter. That is what they're doing right now. That is it. They're not telling a good story. They just want to hit a check mark. And every week they want to say, look at us, people. We are progressive. Congrats to us. That is it.
You really did not like this episode.
It's not I didn't like it. It's just that it was enjoyable episode. But for me, it was slow because I hate useless plot, especially since for now, we have to assume this is a 1-season show. The most we're going to see her next time is maybe in the next movie. She will be in the next movie the same way WandaVision was in Multiverse of Madness. It could be like this, but if we had episode 3 halfway to the show, because we have 6 episodes, right?
Right.
Halfway to the show, we still did not know anything about the Bengals. You said it yourself. They're just gonna lore dump in one episode and move on and run away. That's what they're gonna do.
Well, hold on. So we have a little bit of information on the Bengals, right?
We have, but it's 3 episodes. So, this episode she was supposed to train. She still hasn't trained.
Right. It's one of those things where I really, oh my God, I feel like they're gonna montage in episode 5, like her learning how to fight. But at least in terms of the Bengals, we have some tidbits on the Bengals, right? We know that the Bengals are needed in order for, so this new group, the Djinn, right? Yeah. They're exiled. We don't know why they're exiled, but that was a red flag as soon as they said that in the beginning. So,
Maddie, to be fair, you could be exiled like if there's a dictator in your country and you're trying to achieve democracy.
I didn't trust any of them.
You should leave with that. You should leave with that.
You should. Yeah. I mean, that the word exile should not come out of your mouth when trying to say, I want to go back home. I was exiled.
Oh my God.
But they want to go back home. And they need Kamala. Well, they need the Bengal specifically. Yeah. That is why they showed the flashback scene in 1942 with Kamala's great grandmother, right?
Aisha, great grandmother.
Yeah, great grandmother. Yeah.
Okay, so that's why they showed the flashback. Aisha was able to get the Bengals, and then she got separated from the other Djinn. Yeah. We don't know if that was a purposeful separation, because they seem to be, at least in those what 20-30 seconds that we had with them, they seem to be pretty close, like friends and
they were
everything.
allies.
Yeah, but then they just cut contact at that point. So is it that the great grandmother, she did it on purpose because she knew what it would cost to go back home, or was it like oh, I actually did get separated, so I just started a family?
Maybe she went after the other Bengal, because remember the British took that.
Did they say the other Bengal was owned by the British?
Did they say there was two?
Yes, they said there were two.
They said there was two, but did they say where the second one was?
From what I remember, they said they assumed the British had it because the British had raided the place to the ground.
Right, they did.
Typical goddamn British museum studying people history.
It belongs in a museum.
Don't go there.
That's what they did. That's what they did. They literally said it. They were like the goddamn British.
Oh my god, there's a word for that. It's something appropriation.
Cultural appropriation.
No, it's not cultural
it's
appropriation.
Not that.
It's just taking those artifacts and saying
it's like Indiana Jones.
Yeah, no, it's Indiana Jones. It's like, who? Indiana Jones, why the hell are you stealing this idol from this temple where these people clearly are alive and living, and you're trying to tell them, who can't even speak English, it belongs in a museum? Like, what are you doing?
We will preserve your history.
That's their idol. Like, stop. But yes,
man.
The Bengals. The train seems to be very
what's the deal with the train?
That was the train from the partition. During the partition, that's how people went from India to Pakistan, and from Pakistan to India.
Something big happened with this train because the grandmother got the vision too. And now she's going to go visit her in Pakistan.
There's the question why it triggered also when the mom, the mom of Kamran, what's her name? Do we know her name?
No. She didn't trigger it, but when she saw that it was activated, she was like, I want to see the vision too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Kamala activated it.
It just kind of activates on its own. Maybe it's emotion, but she went, you go back and watch the scene, she was like, and then grabs it.
And I'm not sure if you guys noticed, the train had the word Karachi on there, if from what I remember, which is the city where she's going next episode.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's in Pakistan. So, hey, that should be interesting to say.
That would be cool. I wonder if they actually filmed in Pakistan.
I am very curious as that too.
They have to. I mean, Pakistan is pretty unique. They're not going to film it in like little Pakistan in New York. It's not going to make sense. So I could see them actually probably going to India, Bangladesh, or Pakistan, depending on which country was the most favorable for money to film in. So it's possible.
That would be kind of nice. I'm curious how they're going to do that. And I'm assuming the Djinn are going to follow them.
I mean, obviously.
What makes them evil, and this is the evil part, they want to go back home for whatever reason. We don't know if it's just that they feel homesick or they have some agenda when they go back home. But what we do know is that there's a possibility that if whatever Kamala does to open some portal to go back, to send them back to wherever they came from, it could destroy their world.
Actually, Kamala cannot open it yet because she needs the two Bengals to open it. That's what the grandmother said when they found the first one. They said we need the other one to activate its full power, from what I remember. I could be wrong, but I do remember they mentioned that they needed both of them. It's not something that can be done with only one of them. Somebody drop a comment like this. Is this enough, or is that good enough, or can we only use one? So we have to assume that the second one is going to appear next episode, hopefully.
Maybe the grandmother has it.
Well, Bruno alluded to how they don't have enough power because the power gap.
Yeah.
And so, they probably need the second one to open the portal. And then 2, the mother mentions how Kamran has the same thing inside him as Kamala, and how I think she wants to give him the power, or he's going to probably end up with the other Bengal.
Oh, it got the power, yeah.
Yeah, and then
do you think they're going to fight each other?
Well, he might be in a rock and a hard place between.
Choosing,
but he's definitely gonna
his family, or
he's definitely gonna
family
get
was
it.
A theme in this episode.
He's family. Yes, family was a big thing. And to be honest, I really want Kamala to just tell her family what's going on, because I know her mother knows something. Her mother definitely knows something, And if she was just forthcoming, I mean, the dad has all this knowledge about the Djinn. You know, maybe I think it's gonna culminate in this is a family show, and you know, the dad was telling Amir, he was like, always choose family. Yeah, and you know, it's all about doing good. So I think that's what we're gonna culminate to, is doing good by your family you're gonna be the best superhero ever. Because, you know. Actually,
we did confirm they're sophomore in high school, right?
She's a junior.
Junior?
Sophomore? I forgot.
I think she's sophomore.
Because the reason I mentioned that is because we forgot about Bruno. Because poor Bruno not only is getting his heart broken, he got accepted into Caltech. Like, how is he gonna go there? Like, he still has a year and a half left, right? Because if he's a junior,
well, it's
like that's a college.
It's an immersion program.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it's one of those things where they get to go and kind of like ease their way in, so that way when they eventually do go, they're more familiar and better integrated.
They need to explain his story also, because this boy is kind of weird. He doesn't seem to have any parents. He lives on top of that store, but he also works at the store. So I don't understand like what is going on with this kid.
Who's his family?
Yeah, who's his family?
There? Don't care, but I do like his triangle.
God!
I like his love triangle with
love triangle. Kamala. This boy is on the side watching to the window.
They were about to dance.
Yes, and guess what? Camera came and she immediately left him. He was just left there.
Not for the reason that he thought.
But they kind of tried to push that tension a little bit and dropped it in like 5 seconds, because they did that cliche thing where, you know, Bruno is out of earshot of what is being told to Kamala, you know,
of course,
the urgency of like, oh, my family's coming, they're gonna, you know, screw up the wedding.
Right. They're gonna kill everyone.
He comes in, Bruno, doesn't know what's going on, and he's like, hey buddy, I think you gotta leave, okay?
Yeah. He's like, stop it, Brian. And he's
Brian.
Oh my God.
This doesn't concern you. I'm like, oh my God. Can we stop this whole thing? Can you just tell him what you just told Kamala? So that,
to be fair, he doesn't know. He doesn't know that Bruno. He doesn't know that Bruno knows that Kamala is Miss Marvel, or she has powers.
Right.
He doesn't know that.
I guess
Kamala never made a point of saying, he knows.
I guess he doesn't. It's just he could have still just said, oh, what I just told Kamala, there's dangerous people coming here. We should probably leave.
No, man, it's not your business, Brian. Walk away, Brian.
Walk away, Brian. I will escalate this tension between us for no reason, just for added drama later. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's the mid-season finale. We call it mid-season finale. It's really no finale.
Mid-series finale. It's a
mid-season.
Unless there's a season 2.
Mid-series, because it's a mini-series.
Oh, okay, right. It is a mini-series.
Yeah.
So, that's what we're left with. I hope episode 4 kind of like kicks things into high gear with everything regarding Kamala's family, the Bengals, the Djinn. What's the deal with the Djinn? Why are they just so angry and just mean?
Man, I feel like next episode is going to start with them talking about the partition of India once again. By the end of this show, we're going to be expert about this subject.
Grandmaster, did you say let them?
Yes, because I don't remember the partition in history class. So.
I'm tired of it.
You didn't pay attention in history class.
I don't remember the
exactly.
They probably glossed over it.
You thought Germany was in Antarctica.
All right, of course.
Wait, are German black people for like sub-Saharan?
That's history, geography, whatever.
Geography, brother.
No, you said Germany was in Antarctica, so that's geographic location. That would be geography, not history.
You know, when we say India, we're talking about Indians from the Asian continent, right? Not Native American. Just let you know.
I'm not. I know.
You have difficulty with geography. It's okay.
I sure don't.
You are really stumbling.
I am not.
Do not worry.
I am not.
That's pretty much it for episode 3. Any final thoughts on what you guys want moving forward?
How are they gonna get
4?
How are they gonna get to Karachi? Because you know damn well the mom is not gonna let her go. I mean,
gonna
obviously
go.
by plane, my man, she's not gonna walk there.
It's gonna be really dumb if there would have to be a scenario where she explains to the mom, okay, Ami, this is what's happening, and we need to do this. But then that would kind of negate what happened at the end of the episode where she chooses to not tell the mother that we're going there. So I don't think she's going to be able to involve the mom yet. She's probably going to find an alternative way to go there. I don't know how.
Mom's gonna find out. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, she is going to find out. She's going to halfway across the world.
Then,
she can't just stuff
gonna,
her bed sheets with pillows.
It's gonna tie all together to why the mom's been secretive.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna bring the family together.
She's gonna steal the wedding money from Amir. The wedding money. That's what she's gonna steal.
There you go. She might go with Amir. There it is.
Yeah. No, not go with Amir. Steal the money. Because remember, Amir, as he was running away, said, "Oh, snap the money," and he went back to get the money, thinking there was a flyer.
You mean the wedding money, the gift money they got. Okay.
And they made a point of saying that Amir only had $700 in his bank account.
Yeah, I think he's gonna buy a flight for her. I think that's what's gonna happen.
She's gonna steal the money. I'm willing to bet she's gonna steal the money.
I don't know.
That's against character type, trying to be a superhero.
No, I could see it.
What would Captain Marvel do?
Exactly.
She's doing it for the greater good, because I could see it happen. And Amir goes on his honeymoon. He swaps the card at like a restaurant and it says declined, insufficient fund. And there we go. Drama.
Maybe it could be a misjudge of character on what would Captain Marvel do. Because maybe in Kamala's mind, she thinks, well, this is for the greater good. I should do this. And I think even Bruno pointed that out earlier where oh god, I'm trying to remember the scenario. Basically, Kamala said that she was going to do this, but then and then she's like, that's what Captain Marvel would do. And then Bruno says, well, you're not Captain Marvel, and it's probably good that you're not Captain Marvel, because you should slow down and think about this. I don't remember what it was in this episode. I don't remember what scene it was about.
He was telling her to not use the one bangle because it's not enough power, and if everything could go boom. And then she's like, what would Captain Marvel do? Captain Marvel would fly through and she would help. Even if she didn't know all the risks, she would take the chance. And Bruno's like, I don't think you should slow down, like you said. Well, I'm calling it right now because I did look up the 10 rings photo that Toasty mentioned. If the 10 rings are involved, meaning those rings are alien, they've always been alien.
Those were the 10 rings then.
It is the symbol of the 10 rings.
Yes, I told you.
It is the symbol of the 10 rings.
Sometimes you get confused, Toasty, so I just wanted to confirm.
Yeah, sometimes I forgot to count.
With that said, they're gonna tie it all back to aliens. So it seems like they're trying
with
now.
the Korea, yeah.
Actually, they kind of did that with the post credit for Shang-Chi, right?
Yes, Shang-Chi's post.
When they were talking about the 10 rings and they were trying to discern the origins, they're like, well, it looks alien in nature.
Oh, actually, and guess who was there?
Captain Marvel.
Ooh.
Actually, that could be a weapon similar to the 10 ring. It could be like a similar weapon.
Oh yeah,
actually, 10 ring was dropped.
It even elicits the same kind of like color scheme a little bit. When the Mandarin had the 10 rings, it was like purple, blue.
The 10 rings can change color based on, I think, somebody's aura, because they were blue for the dad, they were yellow for Shang-Chi.
It wasn't purple for someone? I thought it was purple.
Blue or purple? Goodness, same color family.
Same color.
Some color family.
Yes, blue.
I want you to look out your window right now and tell me what color is the sky.
Stop.
Yeah.
That
it looks like a solid
purple.
violet, I must say.
Cut it now. Cut it now. And don't. The sky can look violet at points.
I thought it looked like yellow because color family.
That's crazy because I swear I see some violet in that clouded sky in your background right now. There are shades of purple and blue. Crazy.
It's called science fiction.
Call me crazy. Call me crazy.
That's a comic book, Grandmaster.
Oh my god.
No.
What are you gonna say next? I see an infinity stone in your background.
No, even better. I see 2 moons in Tatooine, so there must be 2 moons here.
No.
Oh my god.
Anyways,
yeah.
That's our thoughts on Captain Miss Marvel episode 3. Let us know what you all think in the comments below. What are your thoughts? What are your predictions? What did you think about episode 3 in general? Does the series need to pick it up a little bit more? Is it losing some of its steam that it had in the very beginning? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below, wherever you're listening to us on. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Check out at the Yonkō Table and at DrJaceAttorney for the video portion of this pod. And don't forget to also join our Discord. Check out the Patreon link in the description box down below, because the conversation on Discord continues even after this episode. But with that, everyone, I'm your Yonkō host, DrJaceAttorney, fellow Yonkō GrandMasterHoop, and Supernova Toasty, signing off, and take care.